It's not Friday. It's Tuesday night. Man, football is just 48 hours away. Just one quick announcement. My Chiefs preview video will be released tomorrow with my picks video. Normally that will come out on today, Tuesday. It'll be released tomorrow. That's all I have for announcements. I am joined by my special guest star, Luke G of the Luke G Field Review. Welcome, Luke.
Listen, you know we had to do this. The moment they said Chiefs and Lions, you being a Chiefs fan, me being a Lions fan, this is almost like it needed to happen. So I'm finna school you on why the Lions is not only going to upset your Chiefs, but they're going to do it in a good fashion.
Oh, okay. All right. In case, you know what, but I'm just going to throw this out there. In case anybody has not been paying attention, Travis Kelce was injured today. We do not know the extent of the injury. Excuse me. We do not know the extent of the injury, but we're going to find out more tomorrow. But it looks like it's going to be a game day decision. Now, so that we're going to get that out of the way. Now, Luke, I've talked about you so much. I feel like everybody in the group knows everything about you. But for those of you who are tuning in and do not realize who Luke G is, by the way, if you're tuning in and you don't know who Luke G is, subscribe to his channel. The link's below. It's a fantastic channel. But instead of me talking about how awesome you are, tell us about you and your awesome channel.
Yeah. You know, I talk all Detroit Lions football. I don't generally go with the rah-rah, all people subscribe attitude. I have my own views and an open platform that allows for you to challenge my views and share your views and have your views be challenged as well. And I keep it strictly to the Detroit Lions because for the longest, the Lions were the most under-reported, respected team in the media. I saw teams who weren't winning anything and they were still getting a lot of media, like the Dallas Cowboys. The Jets wouldn't win nothing and still get it. And I got tired of it. I was like, you know what? The media won't talk about us. I will. And I went on a full-fledged attack mode on any lazy journalism or anything like that. But I made a platform that allows for every single person to come in and enjoy themselves and be a part of a show unlike any other.
You know, and one thing you're leaving out is that I do a lot of draft stuff and I did a bunch of mock drafts. Your draft content, even though it's kind of more specifically geared toward the Lions, is A+. I absolutely love your draft content, the way you break down the players. You don't just regurgitate what people are saying on ESPN or the NFL Network. You do your own research and you have some really great insights when it comes to the draft. I'm hoping when draft season comes around, I can get you back on and go over some of these players, kind of educate some people about how these guys really are instead of what you're just hearing from the talking heads.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times when you got to think, a lot of these so-called experts and scouts, they're trying to focus on a couple hundred people, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not focusing on a couple hundred people. I'm focusing on what the Detroit Lions needs are directly. And I'm looking at players who can come in and fit in every aspect. And I do videos on people who I feel like are not going to get the film studies. You know, you'll find 100 and something different films for people like the Jack Campbells. So did I do a one on Jack Campbell? Of course I did, because I knew he was one of our prospects. I personally wouldn't have drafted him in the first round, but everything I pointed out about him stands true with me. I hope he learns how to get off blocks. I hope he learns how to stop overrunning plays. I hope he learns how to be better at avoiding, the traffic. But as a coverage guy, he's phenomenal, right? Like, he's so much better in coverage than I imagine. And so, yeah, I explore all those different things and keep it 100. That's just how I do it. I don't want to sugarcoat it. I have a bunch of videos that's come out, some that people agree with, some that people didn't. One of my most famous videos was the Greedy Williams take. I hated Greedy Williams, and I was like, look, there's nothing greedy about him other than the fact that he's hawking up all this attention, knowing that it's not deserved. And so at the end of the day, I showed why he's not worth the pick. Another one I did was Montez Sweat. So a lot of the times when it comes to these draft picks, I'm looking for studs who can fit what the Lions are doing and make the Lions a better team. And and if you got people that's listening, and you like, hey, I want to see what this player is about, and it's a position that the Lions need. Like, if it's a kicker, I'm like, okay, let's see what this kicker can do. I will explore all those options.
Well, I'll tell you what, I had a second round grade on Campbell, but coming into the draft, I said he was a 125 3-3 guy. He's solid. I don't think he's going to be spectacular, but I think it's a great fit for the Lions. I do think you reached for him, but I gave the Lions actually a B+ because your second and third round was I just amazing. Getting Hendon Hooker in the third round, Brian Branch in the second. Those are some great picks. But man, we can go on about draft stuff. Let me ask you this here. I'm going to start off right away here, Luke. Now, then you tell me, because when I went on your show, on a scale 1 to 10, I thought the Lions' expectations were like a 9.5 or a 10. And last month I went on your show, I found out it was like a 19. I wasn't even close. I wasn't even in the ballpark. Educate the people here on what the fan base of Detroit is thinking about their Lions for 2023.
The expectations are beyond high, and they should be. And I think what you're seeing is a Lions team who is now starting to understand, too much is given, much is expected. They've been given a lot of things, including time. And at this point, we're expecting you to do some things big. We're expecting you to bring us a divisional title. Why? Well, I wasn't really afraid of Aaron Rodgers, but when you're beating Aaron Rodgers on a regular basis, what the Lions was doing over recent time, and you're giving them a fit and all other problems, you're beating all the other teams. The Lions went 5-1 in the division last year, right? So to go 5-1 in the division last year, coming to a year where there's no Aaron Rodgers, the top quarterback you may face may be freaking Kirk Cousins. I expect you to win this game and win it well. And if you don't do that, then that's the problem. So you're right. You thought it was going to be a 9.5, but it was more like 9,000. We was on that Dragon Ball. We were trying to let it be known, like, we expect to win. We're not settling for almost in horseshoes. We expect for this team to win, compete, and perform, and that's what we're not taking anything less.
I don't know if you paid attention to my show Friday, but I had Keys from the Backtalk Brothers on, and I said, Keys, give me your Super Bowl prediction. And you know what he told me? I knew he had the Chiefs. But he said, I think the Super Bowl is going to be a rematch of week 1. I think it's going to be Kansas City and Detroit. And I was floored because this isn't even a Lions fan. So you got people that are from other fan bases that have these similar high expectations. And I didn't expect that when I came on your show about a month ago. Now, Luke, let me ask you this, though. Let me flip this around here, because one thing I love about Luke and Luke G is that he doesn't just pander to the fan base. He doesn't just pander to the public. He doesn't tell people what they want to hear. Give me the realistic expectations for the Detroit Lions coming into 2023.
For me, is winning at least 10 games in the division. A minimum. I got them winning 11. So my prediction is we'll win 11 games and we'll win the division. And to me, that is the realistic. To win the division, win 11 games, win a playoff game, and damn sure make the second playoff game even more challenging. And if you can do that, then you really winning. You really are succeeding. And so for me, the whole thing breaks down to fans understanding that, look, this is not a time to sit there and back off of it. Now, granted, if your quarterback go down, people are going to say, oh, your quarterback went down, you should panic. I disagree with that. I have no doubt whatsoever in my mind that Hendon Hooker is not hurt. And if he goes down and Hendon Hooker comes in, we're going to have a whole lot of problems. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to avoid Hendon Hooker creating issues or creating conflict within the quarterback room. If Goff goes down, who's screaming, we want Bridgewater? Nobody. Nobody. You know what I mean? So the expectations are 11 wins, division win, playoff win. You're breaking the history. You're starting with it on week 1. You'll finish it by week 18, and you'll push it past that. That's the whole purpose of it. You have to continue to show progression, and I think the Lions will show that same progression. And they will meet those marks. I have no doubt. And our general manager, he ain't running from it. He expects them to win the division as well.
That's kind of what I'm thinking here. I'm thinking I got them a little less than 11 myself, but that I think is a fair and realistic expectation here. Michael Huck comes in here. This is a great one, Mike. If the Lions win 11 but end up a wild card team, is it a successful season? I'm gonna level with you, Mike. Absolutely, it is. When's the last time? I don't know. When's the last time Lions been to the playoffs? You make the playoffs, you win double digits. It's of course.
I think it's 2011. I could be wrong, or 2014.
Yeah, of course it's a successful season, but I'm not a fan. Luke, what do you think, man?
Listen, to be honest with you, if the Lions win 11 games and end up a wild card team, and for me, is it a success only if you win that playoff game? You got to take your spot back. If you made it as a wild card team and you won a division, yeah, that counts. But if you didn't win the division and you made it as a wild card team and you don't punish nobody as a wild card team, come on. I'm not finna do it. I'm not, I want success. You can't just become a wild card team with 11 wins and say we succeeded. I'm good on that. I don't want to tiptoe in. I want to earn my way in. See, I want that home playoff game. I want you to have to come see us. I want home playoffs in the city of Detroit. I think that the Lions can do that. And I think, again, it starts with week 1. Go out, do what I expect you to do on week 1, and the rest will do his damn thing. That's what I believe.
Yeah, so we already disagree, and we're going to do a lot of that today, but that's all good. The one thing we do agree upon is that we're both I don't know if I'll be able to sleep for the next 48 hours. I'm just jacked up for the game here. This is why Luke's the top G, man. I mean, Luke. That's why I want Luke on this show. I don't want some fanboy who's going to come in here and tell me the Lions are going to go 17-0. I want Luke to give it to me real, man. And
I think that's delusional. I think any fan who comes in and say that is delusional. Like, 17, come on, stop it. Like, I'm like, I ain't trying to be funny. We ain't did enough to say 17-0. Let's be honest. But given way the schedule is, given the way that the division is, come on. If not now, when? If not now, when? I'm big on seize the moment. If you had an opportunity to get with the girl of your dreams and the opportunity presents itself and you let it pass you by, don't get mad when you see her walking down the street with his kids and he's all looking happy and stuff, and you trying to figure out why you stuck with the girl you with. Take the opportunity that you got and seize it. And I feel like the Lions is going to do that just this year. They're going to show why Dan Campbell should win Coach of the Year. They're going to show why the Lions hype wasn't just there. That hype train is not only chugging along, it's a damn bullet train because it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. It's something that people look at and they see and they go, this team looks like they rising. And that's what you got to do. You got to come out and show that you rise and start in week 1.
I will 100% agree with you that you're on a bullet train. That hype train, I thought it was a bus. That bus has got like a rocket pack shoved up its ass. It's going about 350. I was not expecting it. Let me flip this around though, Luke, because I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm here in Kansas City. What are your expectations for the Chiefs this year? I know what mine are, but what outside of Kansas City? What do fans outside of Kansas City think of the Chiefs this year?
I think the Chiefs will be in the mix, but I think that the repeat talk should die quickly and fast because I feel that it gets more and more harder when people get more and more clear understanding of what you're doing. You have a lot of internal things happening right now that is going to, yield itself a few problems early on, and it's going to force them to either choke up some money. But hey, if you, I'm all for it. The more internal problems you have the better it is for me. But I think overall, they're not going to be able to repeat. I feel like it's going to be 2 different teams going to Super Bowl, and Kansas City won't be one. I feel like Kansas City is going to come up short, and I think it's going to start with them looking at their defense and saying, man, we spent so much money at the quarterback and tight end position. We didn't really address receivers. We didn't really address the defense like the way we could have. And I think that they end up, getting about 10 wins and looking at their season and saying, man, we should have did so much better to defend our championship. But, I'm not so high on them as everyone else is because I've seen, even just last year, I've seen them lose some games that I'm like, y'all lost to them. Like I've seen some games where I was really wondering, like, how
that Colts game early in the season just drove me nuts. Yeah, it drove me nuts. I had a multitude of Chiefs fans on, and I was the lone minority. I said this, and I'll say it again. I don't think the Chiefs can win a Super Bowl without Chris Jones. I 100% believe that we need Chris Jones to win a Super Bowl. Chiefs Kingdom disagrees with me, but without Chris Jones, we can't repeat. But that's interesting. You think Chiefs are about 10-win team. I find that very interesting. I disagree, but that's okay. Let me ask you this here, because when I tuned in to watch Lions Jaguars in the preseason, and you were playing, both teams were playing backup, so I decided not to watch it too much. What are things that happened in preseason that Chiefs fans should know about, or maybe the public should know about? The one thing I heard about is Jahmyr Gibbs being used in creative ways.
I think there's nothing you should take from it. You know, the Lions went 4-0 the year that they went 0-16. Take nothing from it. You have to understand something. The Lions set up there, if you want to be honest about it, they didn't even that game against Jacksonville was just like, meh, you know, and it shows you who wanted to be there and who didn't. You know, it was very clear that we was going to find out who wanted to be there and who didn't, and who was going to fight. And there wasn't really much that stood out. The game against the Panthers, why are you finna go hard on the game against the Panthers and you play them in week 5? Like, there's no reason to show them anything. You know, who cares? You know, matter of fact, call plays from Madden. Just make sure you come out with no injuries. But I'm not finna show you anything when I got to play you in the regular season in week 5. So take nothing from it. The preseason is exactly what it is. It's evaluating tool to see what players are supposed to be on this roster. The same with Kansas City. Who are the players that you need on the roster? Now, you guys play some backups in your preseason game. Ain't nobody out there chanting that they taking Mahomes' spot. Ain't nobody chanting that Travis Kelce's spot is in danger, right? Nobody is chanting that. Even when you was having issues with the D tackle, there wasn't a D tackle that jumped out to you that you just go, oh yeah, he want that guy's spot. So you take nothing from it. You evaluate it like, hey, who really want to be here? Who really want to show up and show out? Who really wants to put the work in and live up, show that they are a man amongst boys? Those are the people we're going to keep. The rest of you, welcome to the chopping block. It's not pretty. It gets a little gory at times. The flies are here for a reason, because what you performed and put out was a bunch of manure, and it should be treated as such. But that's all you should take from it. The how they use players and stuff like that, you think they're going to show that in preseason? No. When every interview that they have, they're being told the great Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs and how fortunate are you guys to play them. That's what they're saying to them. Those what interviewers are saying to them. They're going to the head coach and the players. How do you feel playing the great Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid? Like the Lions you just chop liver. You're so privileged to play Kansas City. Yeah, matter of fact, if anything, if Kansas City want to take anything from the preseason, believe what they saw. Believe that the Lions are a joke. So when the Lions show up and punch you in the face, you can also believe that they was for real when they said that, hey, that didn't matter.
All right. Stretching the underdog thing here a little big, but I can tell you this, that nobody's looking at the Lions as an underdog. They're well known. A lot of people think that they're going to win the North. I don't think that the Chiefs are really going to take the Lions lightly. I'll let you know one thing the Chiefs have done that's kind of interesting, and it's a big deal because the Chiefs only kept 3 tight ends on the roster. This is something that hasn't happened since I can remember. And if Kelce doesn't play, it's going to be a big deal. They also only have 3 running backs, 7 wide receivers, and 6 linebackers. One thing I'll let you in on, a little spoiler alert, is that 3-4 and 4-3 is a little outdated. All right, me and you've been watching football for a long time, and these terms are kind of outdated. But the Lions run a 3-4 defense, but you see a mix of both. The Chiefs are starting to throw some 3-4 looks in there, and that's one thing that's kind of relevant with the 6 linebackers. And part of that has to do with the fact that the Chiefs, I think, will do a lot of blitzing. Something I picked up in preseason, because it didn't seem like they're trying to replace Chris Jones. It seemed like they're just trying to go in a different direction. So that was something I picked up on. Luke, you already kind of said it here a little bit. I got Anthony says Lions get 6 sacks, and One Pride says not a fan of your tackles. I'll let you know right now, Jawan Taylor and Donovan Smith looked really good in preseason. He looked really good in preseason. We'll have to find out when the bullets fly in about
I can tell you this
hours.
much.
But the interior 3 of the Chiefs is very good. I'd be floored if the Lions get 6 sacks.
There's 3 teams I like in the NFL. I've never shied away from this truth, right? I've liked 3 teams in the NFL. Buccaneers was being one of them. I hated Donovan Smith. I don't think I ever seen someone more overhyped who give up so much than I have like Donovan Smith. Donovan Smith was so insignificant. Like you can't even compare Donovan Smith to Worf. It's not even close. Like it's so bad. I remember watching Donovan Smith. Literally everybody else did their job. Everyone did their job. And I just watched Donovan Smith just turnstile everybody. And I'm going to tell you this right now. James Houston is about to put on his big hat with the feather in it, his platform shoes, the bell bottoms. He's got his strong hand worked out. He's been putting in work with the strong hand. And he's got baby powder because he's about to baby powder pimp slap the scrap out of Donovan Smith. This is not even going to be funny. If anything, and I'm saying this with all honesty, Mahomes better get used to running because that's going to be his only hope. And I'm telling you right now, watch this game, how much pressure comes off of Donovan Smith. I'm not even going to get on Jawan Taylor, but let's just talk about Donovan Smith. This is the most unimpressive tackle in the game. And I'm telling you, I know that money is a little tight for y'all, but you should have saved your money on this one. You should have just drafted you a tackle. This guy ain't it. He ain't it.
Well, I'll tell you what, we gave a boatload of money to Jawan Taylor. He's a guy I liked, but I have to admit giving him $20 million a year really surprised me. The interior 3 of the Chiefs is probably the best interior 3 in football. So I think 6 sacks, which I saw might be a little unrealistic, but I will say this: Donovan Smith has looked impressive in preseason, but we're going to have to wait and see. Amazement kind of confirms here, and Hutch is going to blow up as well. It's mainly effort with Donovan Smith. Well, he won't in Kansas City. I can tell you that right now. I mean, he's got that $500 million guy behind him, but we'll have to wait and see here. Luke, you already kind of alluded to it, but I want to get it here. Chiefs, Lions, about 48 hours from now, man. You really got the Lions winning this one?
Yeah, I got them winning it by 10.
Oh my God, we got a win by 10.
Yeah, I got them winning it by 10.
Double-digit victory, not even close.
Yeah.
Man.
Listen, it's so many things that lend itself to this truth, and it's not even about who's not playing. I can care less who's not playing. Let's just go back and let's look at history as a way of explaining all of this, right? Okay. Let's start off with the first one. The last time the Lions and them played was like sometime in September of 2011, right? And the score was 34-30. And the Lions, for the most part, led that game after the first quarter 10-0. And then, obviously you had some fumbles and a few other bad plays that made it to where they were not able to, do much, and they go into the halftime 13-13. Now that game ends 34-30. Now let me be clear about this. All right, let me be very clear about this. That team that went 34-30 with the Lions, that team was much better than the team you guys got now. I believe it. I believe that Kansas City was better when they went 34-30 against the Lions. I believe that the Lions team that put them 30 points on y'all are not as good as this Lions team. That offense that we have now is scary ugly. We didn't even have Jamison Williams last year and still had the number 1 scoring offense. And you're talking about a team who really couldn't run the ball as much as they wanted to, but they never wavered from it, and they finally would break through here and there. And when I look at this game, I see a team with 2 tackles who are suspect. I got 2 DNs who are young, agile, and ready to rock and roll. I see a team whose best weapon right now is looking like he may not play, and if he do, he's going to be shot up with something to make his leg feel better, and that won't be enough for what he needs to get done. I see a defense who I can't find a single player who can cover Jahmyr Gibbs out the backfield, not even Willie Gay. There's nobody, not Nick Bolton or nobody, who can cover Jahmyr Gibbs out the backfield. You got a tight end who's a little bit more agile and able to get into open space. I don't know how you stop that. You bring a safety down, God bless you. Amon-Ra St. Brown gonna cause you problems. You keep playing, they'll go over the top to the bigs with Josh Reynolds and with Marvin Jones. I just don't see it. Now, defensively, if you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, they are notorious for passing the ball first. Notorious.
Yes. Yeah.
And the one thing the Lions upgraded was the secondary. Oh, yes. Yes, good people. The matchup of our secondary to your receiving core without a Tyreek Hill. As a matter of fact, who's your number one receiver at this point? I'll wait.
Sky Moore is.
Yeah.
So we have Sky Moore, who looked really, really good. We have MVS. We have Kadarius Toney. Rashee Rice is a guy. I'm not sure how much he's going to play, play. We got Richie James came over from the Giants. We also got Justin Ross, who I'm not sure how much he's going to play, but Chiefs fans are really, really excited about.
You know what I'm hearing, though? You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing a collection of people that no one should be worried about, not even the garbage man. And at the end of the day, I expect for our secondary to cause you guys problems. I expect for every pass to be challenged. I expect for every – listen, if you get the quarterback moving and can get them out of their square, probably. But the way you beat us is run the ball. I don't think y'all commit to that. And if y'all don't commit to running the ball, you're going to become one-dimensional, and we're going to cause all kind of hell and problems for you. I just don't see it. Defensively, if I send Jahmyr Gibbs up the backfield, if I put him on the screen, who's the guy covering him? Safety? Corner? Who you putting on him? Don't say linebacker. It's done. That's done. I just feel like when I watch this game, the Lions are going to be able to move the ball on your defense, which is now, again, going to be missing Chris Jones, right? And that's a huge one. In fact, if you go back to the last time that the Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs played, Chris Jones was the reason why y'all won that game. He literally had, I think, 3 sacks down the stretch, and on a big play, a big third down, he came clean through and got a 10-yard sack on Matthew Stafford, which, by the way, the last time y'all played us, y'all did not have a single touchdown from Patrick Mahomes. He didn't put that ball in the end zone not one time. So, I feel really confident I feel really confident that the Lions are going to win this by 10.
Oh, boy. Okay, so I have the defense that gave up the 32nd amount of yards in the NFL last year, going against Patrick Mahomes, and you like that matchup. Who gave up more Lions? Who gave up more yards than the Lions last year? To answer, it's a trick question because nobody did.
That's cool.
You got this defensive coordinator who's had a bottom 5 defense 2 consecutive years. He's got a bunch of new pieces, including a rookie middle linebacker. You're going against the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL, and you like that matchup?
I love that matchup.
Okay.
That's because you got to keep in mind that most of that defense is gone. Most of that defense is gone. The only thing that's still there is the front 7. That secondary ghost. Tracy Walker's back. Branch looks like he's about to be the steal of the draft.
I love Branch. I don't know how he lasted out the first round, but you expect this all to come together really quickly?
Oh yeah. See, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing.
Okay.
Wasn't it funny how the Detroit Lions managed to never really put their entire starting offense out there? See, you guys' last meeting with the Detroit Lions, you were able to destroy that offensive line. Our offensive line is much better. And in fact, this will be the first time that offensive line has played together in its entirety. And I feel really good about that. I also feel really good about David Montgomery because he usually makes the first person miss. Now, you're right. We do got a rookie linebacker. You are absolutely right in that regard. You're right. We didn't do much in terms of changing a lot on the D-line. All that's right, right? But you didn't name a single receiver that even you would bet money on to be great in this game. And at the end of the day, your best bet will come down to Travis Kelce.
I think Sky Moore has 100 yards. I really do.
He can have 100 yards.
I think he'll have 100 yards.
He can have 100 yards.
Mahomes,
but he's going to have 100 yards in a losing effort.
Mahomes has always been good about spreading the ball around. I mean, don't get me wrong. Our number 1 weapon is 87. I mean, Kelsey's the guy, but we have so many pieces, and I have a hard time. It's the one thing that when I went on your show a couple weeks ago that I couldn't understand, and I still don't understand, is how you expect the Lions to get off to a fast start when traditionally they haven't been able to do so. You got a bunch of new pieces. You're going on the road. NFC North teams have always struggled at Arrowhead. Always struggled at Arrowhead. I could, if we were playing the Lions week 10, I would really be afraid. I would say, man, Luke, I think I get what you're saying, but oh boy, but week 1. I'm gonna read some comments here. I'm taking the Lions in the points. I got a few dogs. Hit me up. I'm gonna be live Friday too, and then I'll have my video out. I haven't said, but I actually have 2 bets on this game already. Yeah, I got 2 bets on this game. I like the revamp sec. Michael, I do too. I just have a hard time believing it's going to all come together immediately.
Did you not pay attention? So you got to think each level has to have some form of leadership to it, right? Right. But you have to understand your strength plays into our revamped secondary. And I hate to break the bad news to you, but let's just be honest. You guys ain't played nobody in week 1. This idea that NFC teams don't do well against you, that's just not true. Y'all don't play nobody. This whole thing about Andy Reid is 8-0 and the Lions are 0-8, that's a bunch of baloney because y'all don't play nobody. I mean, let's just be honest. Last year, you went on the road, you played Arizona.
A team that went to the playoffs and the Lions didn't.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Arizona went to the playoffs.
I know.
The Lions didn't. They got a bunch of new pieces on defense.
I know, but let's say I give you that, Dan. Okay. Let's say I give you that. You come the next year and you barely beat a Browns team who you beat 33-29. And they had Baker Mayfield playing quarterback. Now, last time I checked, what excuse you going to give me about the Browns? You go against a Texan team. A Texan team who was hot garbage, couldn't find any help, and had a quarterback going through all sorts of court cases. And again, you barely beat them, but it was a 14-point win, and the quarterback was Deshaun Watson. You go out, you completely destroy a Jacksonville Jaguars team the year before that, 40-26. And guess who the quarterback was? Gardner Minshew. Boy, y'all know how to pick them. And then you turn around and go against the Chargers, who, again, you barely beat, who quarterback was old man Phillip Rivers. I can keep going, but it gets even more daunting at that point. The reality is you guys ain't played nobody. And in this instance, this is going to be the best matchup you had at opening day in a long time. And the last time we met with y'all with a team that was not as good as this, you barely won that game. And they did get out to a fast start.
You're missing out on some details. The Arizona team that we played last year on the road was better than the Lions team that we're playing now.
Oh,
we're at Arrowhead, the loudest stadium on earth, a place where NFC North teams have struggled. All 4 of you guys struggle at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
All 4 of you guys struggle. But you know what though?
It wasn't week 1 though.
We haven't played in a long time. And here's the thing: you mentioned all these teams that we beat. The Lions don't win week 1. The Lions don't win early at all. Period. Andy Reid's won 8 straight season openers. Dan Campbell's
against nobody though.
Coach. But
against nobody.
But you're 0-2, 8-0 versus 0-2. You have 8-0, 8 consecutive home openers, season openers. I'm sorry, not home openers. 8-0 season openers, and then 0-2. I mean, a win's always better than a loss.
I mean, you're right. So when I go and I dunk on my 7-year-old, it was still a win. Make no mistake about it. That dunk was legit.
But
and I don't care.
If that 7-year-old beats you, that would be impressive for the 7-year-old, right?
If the 7-year-old beat me. But you and I both know that the 7-year-old's not beating me.
Not going to beat you, and the Lions aren't going to win at Arrowhead.
Here's the sad part about it right here.
Yeah, we're dunking on the 7-year-old. That's what's going to happen.
Here's the sad part. You're going to sit here and you're going to bet money on Kansas City, right? And you're going to say, hey, Kansas City can do it. They're going to pull it off, right? Mm-hmm. And then when Detroit gets up on them quickly and fast, you're going to sit there. You're going to come back. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to make sure I leave a personal space just for you. It's a little personal space.
I'm going to be live Thursday night, I'm going to do play-by-play live reaction. Man, if the Lions get up, you can come on. And then I already told you if the Chiefs lose this game, I'm going to come on your show and eat some crow.
Oh, listen, I have a lot of crow for you. Listen, and I got it in all styles for you. I got it in Cajun, all right? I got it in Creole. We got a little Italian crow for you. However you want it, we gonna make it happen for you. I believe that when you look at this team, we can match up with y'all step for step on your offense with our defense, step for step. If there was ever one way that I would probably look at and say y'all can probably get a chance to get at us, if you're able to run the ball. I don't think you'll be able to do that. You don't commit to it enough. You are so sold on the great Patrick Mahomes, and you're so committed to him being the hero that it's going to backfire in your face, and you probably should have ran the ball.
Well, I mean, the Chiefs are successful running the ball in the Super Bowl. I mean,
yeah, you're right. They were.
The Chiefs,
they were very successful.
Andy Reid's a passing coach. Okay,
I'm gonna read. They was very successful in running the ball in the Super Bowl. I'll give you that. Here's the problem, though. What happened in the Super Bowl happened in the Super Bowl. It's like in Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And what happened in the Super Bowl stays in the Super Bowl.
Man, it's a brand new year. I wasn't looking forward to starting the season because I love the fact that this dynasty has continued, but yeah.
But the sad part is that streak of 8-0 comes to an end. And I think that many people are going to start after this game is over with. After Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery light y'all up on the ground and screens and out of the backfield passes and stuff, I think you're going to look at it and say, you know what? We need Chris Jones. Pay that man. Get this man his money. Pay him. Listen. You talking to a guy who thought we would have beat y'all, even if y'all had all y'all.
I understand that, and I understand things look bleak. Let me read some comments here. Losing this game means nothing. There's more. I don't think so. To be honest with you, this game's pretty hyped up on both sides. I will say this, Perry. I'm gonna say the same thing whether the Chiefs win or lose. It's week 1. It's an NFC opponent. Actually, I'm going to say 3 things. It's week 1. It's an NFC opponent. And I've seen New England win a lot of Super Bowls and lose week 1. So, I mean, it's not that big of a deal either way. And when the Lions lose this game, I'm not going to talk trash. And I haven't given you my score prediction yet, but I'll give you a score prediction here in a bit. But when the Chiefs win this game, I'm going to say the same things. I'm going to tell Lions fans, hey, look, it's week 1. It's an AFC opponent. It's not that big of a deal. I hate it that Luke truth drop. Luke does truth drop when he uses it. Love it when it's going another direction. William, this has been proven. I don't know what you need to hear. It's been proven. Same team. Yes, you're right. Arizona did go 4-13. You are correct. But when they were week 1, they were 100% healthy.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Hold on. They were completely healthy, and they were coming off of a playoffs, going to the playoffs.
They were hot garbage.
Lions
they were hot garbage.
Not a playoff team.
They were hot garbage.
They may be a playoff team this year. They weren't a playoff team last year. Dude, they won 2 Super Bowls, so I respect the it's all malarkey. I don't know what the comments. I got a little behind. I put some respect on Reed, though. It's not easy to win week 1, regardless of opponents. Here's the thing, amazement. No coach in NFL history is better with extra time than Andy Reid. No coach in NFL history.
Well, you know what? Lucky for you, y'all.
They did lose with Andy Reid before. It was 9 years ago, and it was one of the craziest games I've ever seen in my life. Just weirdness. Hey, Crimson. I'm not dogging Detroit. All I'm telling you is that there's one stadium in the world that's the loudest. There's only one, and that's Arrowhead.
I can tell you this much, Dan. Not only do I look at this game and I try to find the matchups, I often tell myself, when I look at teams, how would Kansas City beat Detroit? I got them offensively running the ball, and defensively, they're going to have to control Amon-Ra St. Brown and the running backs off the backfield.
Okay.
I don't see y'all doing that.
All right. I'm going to tell you exactly how it's going to happen, okay?
Okay, I'm listening.
I got the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL. going against a bottom 5
number one win
last year, the number one scoring offense in the
Go ahead.
NFL from 2022.
Okay.
Since Patrick Mahomes has taken over, nobody's done anything like Patrick Mahomes has done the first 5 years in the NFL.
Nobody cares.
Nobody's done better. What he's doing is unprecedented. He's that good. He's the best player in football. You're going against a team that gave up the most yards in the NFL and the 28th most points. You have a bunch of new pieces and a rookie middle linebacker. You're not going to be able to stop Kansas City. You're not going to. Here's what's going to happen defensively. The Chiefs are going to blitz a ton.
Oh, good for them.
High risk, high reward. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to get some points, but you're going to have some turnovers. You're going to have some sacks. You're going to make a mistake. And here's the problem. You can't make mistakes. You're nothing. I love Dan Campbell. Is he as good as Andy Reid? Not even close. And you're also playing at Arrowhead, a place where all NFC North, not just the Lions. Last time I remember the Lions coming to Arrowhead, Barry Sanders was wearing a jersey. But the NFC North's always struggled at Arrowhead. So
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What was the defense ranked last year? For points?
In points, I think it was 16, just right in the middle of the pack.
What was the Lions' offense ranked in points?
4th.
3rd.
I'm pretty sure it's 4th.
3rd. But just for your sake, I'll give you the 4th, and still want you to understand that you think you get the only offense who can put points on a defense that's got issues. Stop it. What have y'all done to increase y'all chances to go from 16th to be better? What have y'all done?
Well, see, here's what we did is that you're gonna have George Kalifdis year 2, FAU, a bunch of linebackers in a different defensive scheme that nobody's really seen before. It's going to be a high risk, high reward type of defense, but the secondary, the Chiefs secondary is going to be good. We got a bunch of rookies that played last year that are going to be in year 2, and here's the thing: the Chiefs have better offense, they have better defense, they have a better coach, they have the home field advantage. That's kind of what it is. I was looking it up here on PFF. Lions were 5th in points, 28th on defense, 4th in yards, 32nd in yards.
Yeah, I was looking at NFL.com, and I was looking at total touchdowns, and they were 3rd with 54 in terms of rushing.
I will say this: I like the Lions' offense. I'm not sure about week 1, and I say that because I don't know. How you're going to play Gibbs. I'm actually really looking forward to that. And I'm also looking forward to Laporta, a guy that I was very, very, very high on. It kind of reminds me a lot of, I hate to say this, but reminds me a lot of Kelsey. But are you going to use them right week 1? And are you going to use them right away?
I feel like the fact that you believe that they're going to blitz proves that you guys are going to have problems. While you're blitzing, we're running, and we're going to run right past you. It's going to be a lot of draws, a lot of screens, a lot of out of the backfield. Feel free to blitz. You guys don't have a person who can cover our tight end. You don't have a cornerback who can cover Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're not going to make your best cornerback come into the slot, so good luck with that.
All of our cornerbacks can play in the slot.
Yeah, they're not covering Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I like our corners against Amon-Ra St. Brown a lot better than your guys who are coming into a system that's not good, covering a multitude of players with Mahomes and Reed play calling.
Who are these multitude of players you were naming again? I'll wait.
You got Sky Moore.
And I was okay. Wake me up when September ends.
MVS, Rashid Rice, Justin Ross, Richie James, and I get that. I get that,
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry. I don't know if the names were born or were the way you saying the names born. Either way it goes, they're not going to be enough. I don't see.
What do you mean be enough? You had the 30th ranked defense with yards 28th.
That was last year. Last year,
a bunch of new players.
But then last year is so different. I mean, last year you came on the show, you had hair. Today you're bald.
I've always been bald, Luke.
Not for this example. This time, Dan, you had hair. You had a nice little spike hair. It was
I've
very
never
nice.
had a hair, Luke. I've never had hair. Come on, Luke.
Things change. Things change.
You know what? The last time I was on your show for 2019, I wore a cowboy hat.
I know. And the crazy part is you're so confident because you feel like
I am confident. I am extremely confident.
But then listen, we haven't even gotten to the rest of it. Kelsey about to be out. Kadarius Toney is hurt. You talking about
Kadarius Toney's healthy.
You feel good? He's healthy.
He's healthy. He's practicing.
Yeah,
and he's going to play.
You believe that he's going to be a difference maker.
I really think Sky Moore's the guy, and I almost put a prop bet down. But Sky Moore's the guy. I think that after the game's over, I think Lions fans are going to be like, "Who the hell's that Sky?" I think you know Sky Moore because I do.
But I also think that the first turnover is going to come from Kansas City, and we're going to score on that turnover. I think we're going to get up on you guys quick, and it's going to make you one-dimensional. He's going to sling that thing, but slinging that thing.
I mean, you got to understand when it comes to coming back from behind, that's something Mahomes has done consistently.
It won't happen this time. Not with this team. Not with Aiden Hutchinson and James Houston coming off the edge with them pathetic tackles that you want to call linemen. Not when you're going to have a tight end who's partially going to be playing hurt. Your best defensive weapon is at home eating tortilla chips and salsa, watching us demolish y'all. Not when you can't name me who's going to be covering the running back of the backfield. Not when you can't tell me about how your secondary is going to contain our receivers. It's going to be a lot of problems. I just think you should know that.
I don't see that at all, man. Byron Cook is a guy that's going to step up. Trent McDuffie's probably going to be a Pro Bowl corner this year. L'Jarius Sneed is playing for a massive contract. We got Justin Watson. We got Joshua Williams. These are all guys that played a lot as rookies, except for L'Jarius Sneed. And you know what the thing is? All these guys that I mentioned, all these guys can play in the slot. All these guys can play man. All these guys can play zone. Byron Cook's a big safety who I think is going to match up perfectly with your linebackers. I mean, and to be honest with you, even if Kelsey doesn't play, it wouldn't change my game prediction at all. I know.
See, this how I know that your glasses are fogged up. And you might have took a line or two before we came on. Let's be honest. Let's just look. Let's take a gander at some things. Let's start off with this great offense that we're talking about. Like
Chiefs or the Lions?
The Lions are great. We're gonna talk about this Chiefs that you're talking about. All right. Who's your starting five on the offensive line? I'm just curious.
Okay, we have the best interior three in football. You have Creed Humphrey, second team All-Pro. Probably should have been first team, but look, Kelsey's a big name, future Hall of Famer.
Who's Frank Ragnow?
Who's what? Frank Ragnow?
Yeah, we won for one. Keep going.
He's an excellent center.
Keep going. We won for one. Go.
Creed Humphrey's better, but Ragnow's very, very good.
Creed Humphrey's better than who?
Everybody else in the NFL. Creed Humphrey is going into 2023. He's the best center in football.
Continue.
Creed Humphrey is that good.
Go ahead.
We got Pro Bowlers on each side. Actually, Trey Smith didn't go to a Pro Bowl, but he's a mauler. He's a monster. He should have gone to a Pro Bowl. On the other side, it's gone to a Pro Bowl. Top 5 guard, easy. Our interior three is the best interior three in football.
Okay.
Now we gave $80 million to Juwan. I always get his name wrong. It's Juwan Taylor or Juwan Short. I always get that name
Juwan Taylor, get your money back.
Football. So I'm bad with names. We gave him $80 million. I have to admit it's a question mark, but he's a good right tackle. Nowhere near Penei Sewell. Probably the best right tackle in football. Love Penei Sewell. I do worry about Donovan Smith on the left side, but one thing about Andy Reid, old school offensive line coach, he's always done a good job at protecting his tackles. Another thing is that I talk about the Super Bowl. The Eagles had 70 sacks in the regular season. They didn't have a single sack in the Super Bowl, something the Chiefs game plan for. A lot of things I'm hearing from Lions fans is that we're taking the Lions lightly and we're not taking them serious. And
no. I don't think for one moment that's true. I'm merely breaking out to you to show you that for all the things you can talk about with Patrick Mahomes, No quarterback, and I don't care who it is, including Patrick Mahomes, can survive being hit repeatedly, pressured, and harassed. And when you got the tackles that you have, you got problems. If you want to talk about your interior, that's cool, but you forget we're gonna do things. We're gonna blitz too. We're gonna send people your way, especially when you don't have no Travis Kelce. And because you don't have no Travis Kelce, you're gonna try to run that ball. Now, if y'all can successfully run that ball, I would be like, hey, we got problems. But I don't think that's going to happen. And you start to look at the defense, it gets even more shaky, right? Because if you start to look at the defense and say, you know what, this is what they did last year, but looking at them this year, it's not even comical. Like Leo Chanel ain't running with nobody. Nick Bolton ain't running with none of these people running with Gibbs.
Leo Chanel, and this is kind of a fun thing, is that what they're doing is they're going to use him as kind of a pseudo outside linebacker defensive end. And this is something that I think it's going to cause a lot of problems, is that you're going to see more of 3-4 looks from the Kansas City Chiefs week one than you have in the past. And I think it's going to cause some confusion, because even though the Lions offense was good last year, I'm not looking at them and going, hey, this is a top 5 offense. I'm looking at them as like, man, I like the offensive line. Goff's pretty good. Amon-Ra St. Brown's really good. You got some decent players, but I'm not looking at the Lions going, oh, wow, this is a top 5 offense. I'm not doing that at all.
I tell you what. I'm looking at y'all cornerback, y'all DB. I'm looking at all of this. It's not enough. Listen,
you're right. The Lions don't have near enough.
You paid
correct.
You paid a lot of money. You paid a lot of money to have Patrick Mahomes, and I'm happy you did.
You know the way the contracts are going, he's like the 7th highest paid quarterback.
Oh yes, I have no problem.
The $500 million sounds massive and it sounds insane. It's actually a team-friendly contract. The way.
No. I get what you're saying. What I'm saying is it still took up enough money between him and Kelce that makes it really hard for you to sign that guy named Chris Jones. See, you're gonna after this game right here, you're gonna wish you paid the man. I'm telling you right now.
Well, so here's the deal. I was one of the few people that was thinking it'd probably be better to trade Chris Jones, and the reason why, Creed Humphrey, when his contract comes up, and by the way, Hatter's House 710, you can't go wrong with either center. You really, really can't. Ragnow's an awesome center. If it sounds like I disrespected Ragnow, it's not true. I think Creed Humphrey is the best center in the National Football League going into 2023. No disrespect to Kelce, but you know how it is when you're big name and you get the recognition just because of the name, and that's kind of the way I think it is. Creed Humphrey is an anomaly at center. I can't go on enough about how much I love him. But you're right, Hatter's House 710. No, Ragnow's awesome. Ragnow's awesome.
And I do want to bring up a point that my Roar of the Lions UK family member, my man Anthony, brings up. You forget we got a good play caller in Ben Johnson. Now, I don't know how you felt about my man Bieniemy over there, but I know he gone and he over there in Washington, and everybody and their mother believed that these play calls were coming from Andy Reid. But I remember Andy Reid, who even with the Kansas City Chiefs tends to get a little vanilla in his play calling, tends to get a little bit away from his game plan as situational football starts to happen. But because things have always played out in the better end for him, people ignore it. I just want you to be aware that you have a guy in Ben Johnson who is about to scheme up something that even you not ready for. Nobody, not even me, who can read offenses, saw a play going to Penei Sewell. If he did that with this big monstrosity of a lineman, what do you think he's going to do with a Jahmyr Gibbs, a Laporta, and an Amon-Ra St. Brown? What do you think he's going to do there?
I think you're going to need some time. I don't expect the Lions to be good right away. I think the Lions are a team. Here's the deal. I'm very confident because I think the Lions are a team that's going to start slow. I also think that the Lions have a week 9 bye. After week 9, I don't want to play the Detroit Lions. But the first First half of the season, yeah, I'm not fearing Detroit.
You starting out 2-0. We're gonna beat Kansas City.
I'm serious. Take away the Chiefs game. I got you guys going 1-2.
And
after the loss, so you're going to start to see. I got the Lions starting 1-3,
huh?
And I think there's a better chance that you start 0-4 than 2-2.
Dan. Now we talked about this before we came on. If you're not going to share your supplier, don't start talking about the things that you do. If you're not willing to share the supplier with us, don't you dare.
I'm gonna let you know a secret. I don't have a dog in the fight, and I don't believe in revenge games 99% of the time. But week 4 is the exception. I think the Packers fans, coaches, and players have week 4 schedule. I think they have that game circled, that Thursday night game. I think you take a loss in Lambeau week 4 on Thursday night. What? I really believe that. I think Packers. I think they are pissed. I think you take an L there, and I don't think you. I don't know. I'll be honest.
Who the one team you got us beating?
I think you have a chance to beat Atlanta.
So we losing to the Panthers?
Yes. And you're losing to the Chiefs, and
we lose to the Buccaneers.
You play. So here's the schedule for the first 4. I only have the first 4 members.
Yeah, you guys going Kansas City, Seattle, Falcons, and Packers.
Seattle,
you are delusional. We going 4-0. We going 4-0 in that time.
You're going to lose to Packers, and I think Seattle has a better team.
The Packers lost to us, and they had Aaron Rodgers. He's gone, and you think we're going to lose?
I'm telling you, I normally don't do revenge games. I normally don't believe in that. But
you can't get revenge. You can't get revenge with a divisional rivalry. When
I think the Packers are pissed. I think they win that week 4 game. And by the way, I'm going to try to come on your show before you guys play the Packers. I'm going to try to come on and remind you guys that I'm calling the Packers victory week 4. I think Seattle's a better team. I really do. And like I said, if we played the Lions after the bye, I'm scared. But early in the season, I think it's a lot different when you're the favorite than when you're the underdog. And the Lions, for the first time in a long time, are favored to win this division. It's a little different. Anthony, I'm not sold on Johnson. Is he better than Matt Nagy? No, he's not.
Dan, listen to me, Dan. I didn't think we were gonna have to do this, but I'm calling an intervention for you because I believe you may have done too much this time. I think
I'm
listen, hear me good.
About powerful is that Lions Kool-Aid, you guys are
listen. I'm gonna give you some of it though, so you can try to get your energy back up after we beat down the Kansas City Chiefs. But let's get into it.
I am drinking an energy drink. I am pretty jacked up.
At the end of the day, you got us losing to basically everybody but the Falcons.
I'm not even sure you beat the Falcons. I think there's a better chance that you go 0-4 than 2-2. And the reason why is that I look at trends. The Lions have won 1 game in the month of September and October. 1 game in the last 2 years. The Lions start slow. They have a bunch.
They don't start slow, Dan. They were rebuilding, Dan. You're
still rebuilding. You got a bunch of new players on.
No. Rebuilding. Listen, Dan. We stripped this thing. Listen, we took this thing down to the bare naked butt, okay, and we redid it. It came in fat and sloppy with a beard, and name started with Matt and ended with something else. We're gonna leave it alone. But once we wiped that slop up off the floor. And we dressed it up. It was able to do up downs instead of riding 4-wheelers to get from one end of the practice to the next. All right. Now, all I'm saying here is this. None of them teams you name have done anything to threaten us, not even the Kansas City Chiefs. You're going to be without one of your best weapons on defense. Your tight end is going to be playing hobble. You go over to the Seattle Seahawks, who I'm a fan of, and I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. We don't even know if even week 1, if their rookie cornerback is going to play. We don't know what they are going to do in terms of a rushing attack. All they can do is run the ball. Geno Smith had a good start, but I don't buy into the Geno Smith hype, and I refuse to. You talk about a revenge game. Where's our revenge on them? for that BS that we
I
dropped in
don't
last
think
year.
that's a revenge game. And when I was in Seattle, I don't think that's a revenge game. Detroit and Seattle, I don't buy that at all. But I think Seattle's a team that I think did get better. I'm not sold on Geno Smith, but I think overall they got better. Like
Where?
I said, you bring back, oh God, what the hell? I had another name freeze.
The Packers don't even got Aaron Rodgers no more.
You bring back Bobby Wagner. All right.
So
Witherspoon's not bad, but he's going to help quite a bit. I don't know if Jackson Smith and Njigba is going to play. But you also got 2 rookie tackles I think are going to get better.
You know something that you're forgetting, Dan?
What's that?
Most of those teams that we played last year, there was no James Houston. There was no Romeo Okwara. We had a bunch of injuries.
All I'm saying is that
we had a bunch of injuries, and those injuries that we had, slowed us down. I'm just merely making the point to you that for all these, I put it this way. After we beat Kansas City, I'm going to have to do you how Dion did that reporter and ask, do you believe now? Because at some point, you're going to have to come to the table and believe it, because you don't realize that we had injuries and still performed in a lot of areas. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm notorious for telling you that defense upset at me last year and that we should have did some things differently. However, having a improved secondary go against a team that's passed first, yeah, I like that chances. I like the fact that you think you're going to throw the ball on us. I like the fact that you think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson Jr. ain't going to be the one causing problems on Travis Kelce, or you don't think that Branch is going to be the one. But you watch this. I guarantee you Kansas City has the first turnover, and I guarantee you that the Lions are going to get up on them quick and fast. You're going to be sitting there in the live going, this is I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
It's kind of funny because, I mean, I will be live, and if that happens, I will be shocked because I see just the opposite. I think that I don't think you're going to be ready for Arrowhead. I don't think that you're going to be ready for this defense, which is going to look a lot different. A bunch of new pieces in a secondary going against Mahomes and Reed. If you think that's going to work, I don't know what to tell you because it's not going to. Like I said, this is week 10. I'm scared. Week 1 early, when you got guys not knowing their assignments, when Kansas City's motioning, shifting, the Kansas City Chiefs have the most complex offense in the NFL. You're not going to bring in 3 to 4 new starters in the secondary and be ready for this very confusing offense.
But you're not bringing in that many starters. Like, you're not bringing in that many like starters and stuff. What you're doing is you're revamping things, right? So you bring in Sutton, right? Cam Sutton, right? You bring him in.
So he's one.
Okay. Jerry Jacobs is going to probably be the other outside linebacker. He just is. You guys don't have a receiver that I'm worried about doing anything against him. I'm sorry. He's not that guy, right? You don't have a guy like that. Then your slot guy is going to be a mixture because you're going to see us doing a lot of confusing things. There's going to be times where you're going to see Chauncey Gardner-Johnson out there and you're going to be trying to figure out like,
hold on. You really think that Aaron Glenn's going to confuse Andy Reid?
I'm not looking
come on.
I'm not looking for confusion. I believe that Aaron Glenn's defense is going to out physical Kansas City's offense.
I don't see that.
Your receivers ain't that life. You have a tight end and that's it. A tight end and a quarterback. Take the tight end away, it's all problems. In fact, when you went against the same Detroit Lions team, they used Tracy Walker to basically shadow Travis Kelce. You know what Travis Kelce had that game?
Off the top of my head, no, I don't. I know he had that highlight reel flip to LaShawn McCoy, and I also know
that was his best play of the game. But you know what he had that game? He had 7 catches for 85 yards and no touchdown.
So didn't you just tell me the pass doesn't matter? Now you're bringing up Patricia's defense.
No. What I said is this. What I said is you can talk about last year. You can talk about all those things. But last year's Lions team is not the same as this year's Lions team. There are a lot of key components that were absolutely different that was not there. You have a threat out the backfield. And I didn't just one running back, but 2 running backs. You have a tight end who is fast enough to get in and out of his cuts and get into space. You have receivers who can not only get the jump ball, but they can win in the slot in those routes. You have an offensive line that's going to play together for the first time and running backs who can take it to the house. right? You have all these things. Only thing I'm pointing out to you is even in y'all time against us that game where y'all won 34-30, you were playing catch up. And the difference was in that game was Chris Jones. He had 3 significant plays that really helped propel y'all in for a win in that game. The same way he had a significant play to help y'all win that Super Bowl. You will miss him. And to have this much moxie and confidence when you're going to have players out, you have a receiving core that ain't been proven, that ain't shown diddly squat, and it still ran through the tight end. Yeah, I like our odds.
I'm glad you feel that confident. I mean, I got a couple bets on this game. I mean, our receiving core against a rebuilt secondary with a bad defensive scheme. I love that. Anthony, Matt Nagy is better than Ben Johnson. That's not a debatable thing.
Better than Ben Johnson in what? In what?
Head coach, offensive coordinator with Kansas City, who got promoted to head coach, who's now an offensive coordinator. This is not a debate, Luke. Matt Nagy is better than Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's been a coordinator for 1 year. That's it.
Hold on. Let me get this together. Hold on.
You can't.
Let me get this together. Hold on.
This is a fact. Matt Nagy is better than. How has been a coordinator for 1 year better than a guy who's been an NFL head coach?
Matt Nagy was the most trash head coach that you could think of. Just like Todd Bowles is a trash head coach. Matt
Nagy won NFL Coach of the Year, took Chicago to
I could care less about those awards.
What did Dan Campbell do?
They had one good season under Matt Nagy. They had one good season under Matt Nagy. The rest of it was 100% straight boo-boo. And you want to say listen, Matt Nagy is so good that he went from head coach back to coordinator. That's what he did. They wouldn't even give him another head coaching job. Meanwhile, our guy, they're still trying to get him a head coaching job. And they sobbed when he refused to take a head coaching job to remain a coordinator. Secondly, what has Matt Nagy done that's why he got fired. Everybody knew he got fired because he had no clue what he was doing. It was the most ridiculous thing.
Kansas City, where he was an offensive coordinator. He has more experience as an offensive coordinator. A guy who's a former head coach who takes the coordinator position has additional experience. Ben Johnson, how many years has he been an offensive coordinator?
I don't care about
how many years has he been an offensive coordinator? Answer the question. How many years has he been offensive coordinator? How many years?
2.
How many years?
This will be his 3rd year.
Okay. So he doesn't have the experience. He hasn't been a head coach.
And yet he has a top 5 offense with 3 years of experience, was one of the main candidates for a head coaching position, whereas a guy who had head coaching positions couldn't even get in the room. Stop playing these games with me. And then secondly, you talking about Matt Nagy like Matt Nagy has really done something. Ask a Bear fan about Matt Nagy. You're liable to get attacked, Dan. Don't do it. If you say Matt Nagy's name around a Bear fan, they're liable to go into a rage and attack you. And I don't want you to get attacked. It just doesn't make sense. Throw all that to the wind. The reality is this. There's one person that's calling plays in Kansas City, and that's Andy Reid.
Ben Johnson's been a guy who's been a coordinator. This is year 3.
So are you denying
Matt Nagy is a better coordinator than Ben Johnson? That's just a fact.
You can't find John Madden in the afterlife to admit to say some stuff like that. Come on now, stop it.
Luke, I'm giving you a fact.
That's not a fact.
Matt Nagy is
an opinion if I ain't never heard one, and a bad opinion at that. It's a terrible opinion. It's terrible.
It's a fact, Luke. Now, Amazement, I will give you this. If he has, again, a top 10 offense, he is going to be a hot name.
He's already a hot name. What are you talking about?
If he has a top 10 offense, he is going to be a hot name for next year.
He's already a hot name.
I'm not that impressed with him.
Let's talk about the great Matt Nagy. Let's go through and let's look at some interesting facts about Matt Nagy. I mean, I can't believe you even got me doing this.
Look, I'm giving you a fact. Matt, any coordinator who's been a head coach is better qualified to be an offensive coordinator than a guy who doesn't.
That is the most BS I have ever heard in my entire life. Hold on. So you telling me? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Coach, you're better suited to be a coordinator again.
Wait a minute. So by your theory, Matt Patricia is a better coordinator on the Eagles than Matt Nagy. I'll wait for your response. He has more experience. He's been a head coach.
He's not the coordinator, is
no,
he?
No.
He's not the coordinator.
No, wait a minute. Matt, we talking about Matt Patricia, who was a coordinator on New England, not just once, but twice, offense and defense, been a head coach, has more experience. Who's the better coach? I'll wait.
Between Ben Johnson,
between Matt Nagy and Matt Patricia, who's the better coordinator?
I would say it's Nagy.
Exactly, but you just said here in your argument that it was
no. You're twisting everything right. Here's what I said: if you take a coordinator, who turns into a head coach, and he goes back to being a coordinator, that would make him usually a better coordinator than somebody who doesn't have that experience.
Okay, now so listen, I'm gonna take what you said. Matt Patricia, who's a coordinator, who turned into a head coach, who went back to a coordinator, who then went to another position as another coordinator, has more years of experience than Matt Nagy. Why is he not better than Matt Nagy?
I'm sorry, Luke. You lost me.
You said Matt Nagy was a coordinator turned head coach back to coordinator with more experience than Ben Johnson. So I asked you, well, Matt Patricia was a coordinator turned head coach back to coordinator, then coordinator, and still has more years of experience and has been in the same shoes as Matt Nagy. Who's the better coordinator?
Ben Johnson or Nagy or Patricia?
No, I'm talking about Matt Patricia and Matt Nagy.
Luke, you can talk to your blue in the wind. Nagy's a better coordinator than Johnson.
No. Wait. What I'm doing is I'm challenging your analogy to say that he went from a coordinator to a head coach to a coordinator. So did Matt Patricia. Why is he not better than Matt Nagy?
You know, Matt Patricia had a terrible year as an offensive coordinator for the Patriots last year.
Yeah, but he was a defensive coordinator at one point too.
Yeah.
So not only does he have experience as a defensive coordinator, he has experience as an offensive coordinator and a head coach. Matt Nagy don't have experience as a defensive coordinator.
Well, Matt Nagy's going back to being the Chiefs' offensive coordinator.
Exactly, but he doesn't have experience.
A position that he
doesn't have experience doing it. And that's my point. When
he doesn't have experience, he was the Chiefs' offensive coordinator.
Correct, but he was never a defensive coordinator. And your whole argument to say that Matt Nagy is better than Ben Johnson,
you're twisting everything I said around.
No, I'm not.
Yes, I did.
Here's what Matt Nagy went from coordinator.
Ben Johnson and Matt Nagy.
Right.
Ignore everything else. Between Ben Johnson and Matt Nagy.
But your reason for Matt Nagy being better is simply because he was a head coach.
There's not a debate here, Luke.
It's beyond it's past debatable.
Ben Johnson is not the better coordinator. He's just not.
You're right. And the reason for that is because of what? Your reason for saying he's not the better coordinator is because of what?
The numbers aren't there. The experience isn't there.
So when I gave you somebody who had more experience than Matt Nagy, why in the numbers? Why did he not?
I just won this debate, Luke.
You lost the debate in the worst possible way.
He doesn't
Your
have
only
the
logical explanation is Matt Nagy was a head coach, or not a good head coach, but a head coach. And then he went from being a coordinator to head coach, from head coach to coordinator. And that logic does not yield itself to making it sound like, oh, this guy is this or this guy is that. The result is this. The experience you talked about was shot dead in the water because I gave you somebody with more experience. I can do the same thing with Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles is a coordinator turned head coach, back to coordinator, back to head coach. Is he better than Matt Nagy as a coordinator? No. You're not going to say that, right?
So let's look at Ben Johnson. He's been an offensive coordinator. This is his second year as an offensive coordinator. So you're telling me a guy that's been a coordinator for 2 years this is year 2, by the way, is better than a guy who's been a coordinator for several years, has head coaching experience?
He sucked as a head coach. He was fired as a head coach.
But he does have head coaching experience.
It doesn't matter. I gave you other coordinators.
Ben Johnson with one good year, his only year is better than Matt Nagy.
I gave you other.
No. Don't.
Here's the benefit of having something be true. When something is true,
1 year,
it goes across every platform. It don't just go across one. 1 + 1 is forever 2. No matter how many times you want to switch it around, 1 + 1 will be 2. And your experience argument with head coach experience argument dies in the water the moment I put somebody else up against your coordinator with more experience. More with the head coach stuff, right. You can't do it that way. So your only reason was for making that statement was this. The reality is this.
Ben Johnson's resume.
The reality is this. Answer this one question for me.
Hold on, Luke. Here's his experience. This is year 2 as an offensive
I don't listen. Your experience excuse is dead, Dan.
Okay. So why is Ben Johnson a better coordinator?
Here's the point.
Okay.
What Ben Johnson's a better coordinator because Ben Johnson has been the most innovative coordinator out right now. He's a hot name. And right now, if you were sitting up there right now in the room as a organization and you're trying to figure out who can be your next head coach and you got Matt Nagy sitting there with Ben Johnson, you're taking the young guy who's shown innovation and shown such a great deal of strife to say, you know what? Everything's a possibility. We go for it on 4th down because we believe that we have a play drawn up to get it, and we get it quite often. When you make those play calls where the ball is going to Penei Sewell, and you're making these play calls that are setting up plays 2 and 3 plays down the road, that makes you better. The problem with Matt Nagy is this. Matt Nagy is got the same problem that Bieniemy had. The real person who calls plays there is Andy Reid. And as long as Andy Reid is there, Matt Nagy ain't calling diddly squat. He's there as a guy to learn some new things and improve upon himself because guess what? Go and look at Matt Nagy's offense when he was a head coach. It is laughable. It's not even enjoyable to look up. Your skin crawls when you look at it. And when you look at Ben Johnson right now, Matt Nagy, Ben Johnson, both up for the same job. They're taking the genius that is Ben Johnson. It's not even close. I don't give 2 flying nickels about the whole experience and age and stuff like that. None of that stuff makes a difference. What you have to look at is all of the facts involved in it in the total picture. All I'm trying to get you to understand is just because that man was a terrible head coach from being a coordinator, which you guys are already, because he failed as a head coach, to back to being a coordinator does not make him better than the guy who every team wanted and is upset that he stayed with the Detroit Lions.
All right. You know what, Luke? I'll stand corrected because Perry brought up a really good argument here. He's an up-and-coming offensive coordinator just like McVay was. Hey, look, you know what? McVay was a guy that, like, when he came out of Washington as an offensive coordinator, I didn't really give him a lot of credit. I don't agree with you, Luke. I don't think that Ben Johnson is the next Sean McVay. I don't believe that at all. I really want to see more. I think
I didn't say that he's the next Sean McVay. I didn't say that.
Well, no, but Perry brings up a good point, and this is why I'm sitting here and we're just butting heads at this point. I think I'm right. You think you're right. I'm not going to convince you. You're not going to convince me. But Perry brought up something really, really interesting because
he turned around
I remember McVay, but the one thing, Perry, that I want to see more from Ben Johnson. I'm not sold on Ben Johnson being the next Sean McVay. I don't think he's there.
If you believe that, right? If you want to see more,
I don't think he's there. I really don't.
If you believe that, then there's no way you can just sit there and say, well, I don't have enough sample size, but then put somebody who you've seen as a head coach fail. Like, to me, I like the Buccaneers too. I'm not only a Lions fan, I'm a Buccaneers and Seahawks fan too, right? Like, it's weird because I like 3 teams in the NFC. This is nothing new for me or whatever, right? I've discussed this many times.
Well, you know, it's funny. I got a lot of respect for the Raiders and the Broncos. Nothing but love for those organizations.
But I hate Todd Bowles as a head coach. He sucks. It's terrible. It's not even funny. I can't begin to tell you how frustrating it is every time I see that we make a move and Todd Bowles is the head coach. I feel like every time his name is even said, I want to scratch my throat box out. It's just terrible. He's not a good head coach. Coordinator, he might have been good, but look at this. This dude is not. He's making Devin White want to leave the team. This guy is not good. I am simply making the point that at the end of the day, you're going to have a guy who we all know Andy Reid's calling the plays. I don't care what nobody says. He is not turning the keys over to anyone for that offense. That is his baby. He burps it. He rocks it. He shakes it. He feeds it. He changes the diapers. That's his baby. He is the mastermind behind you guys' offense. And guess what? I believe that his tendency to overshadow himself and try to say, you know what, I'm going to feature the quarterback, it's going to backfire week one.
Now, you do realize that they did just the opposite in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, Andy Reid can change his game plan and adapt better than any coach in maybe NFL history.
See, I'm going to tell you why that's different than now, okay? The reason that's different with the Eagles, if you look at the Eagles, he was trying to prevent Jalen Hurts from doing anything. He didn't want him running the ball. He didn't want them trying to establish a run or anything. Now, they got a really good offensive line, right? The Eagles do. They got a really good offensive line. And hell, they even had some okay running backs over there. But what did they do? They felt that they can get better. They went out and traded for DeAndre Swift. And then they, on top of that, they added a few other names that they already had there with Gaineswell and stuff like that. But for the most part, they were just trying to keep the offense of the Eagles off the field. That was the game plan. It wasn't like they came into it and was like, we're going to run this down your throat. Yeah, baby. No, that's not what happened. They were just trying to keep the Eagles off the field. That's it.
I disagree with you. I think that what the Chiefs did was just they simply outsmarted the Eagles. You had a better coaching staff in Kansas City. I think the Eagles top had a better team.
Outsmart is a bit of a stretch.
you don't think Andy Reid outsmarted Nick Sirianni?
You want listen?
Because here's the deal: if you were to play the Super Bowl on Madden, I think the Eagles would win. I think the Eagles, top to bottom, had more talent, but I think Kansas City Chiefs made adjustments that the Eagles didn't.
What was the score? What was the score at halftime? You remember?
If I remember right, it was 21-13, something
24-14. They were up by 10 points.
Mm-hmm. So Kansas City made adjustments in the second half, and this has been a staple of Andy Reid throughout the year.
Right. But do you remember?
And they've done this like not just in the Super Bowl, but the year that the Chiefs won their first, well, not their first Super Bowl, but the 2019 Super Bowl. They were down big to Houston. They were down double digits to Tennessee, and they were down double digits to San Francisco, and they've been able to come back consistently. That's why if the Lions get up, Kansas City Chiefs are just going to yawn and shrug it off. Patrick Mahomes has come back from double-digit games. Matter of fact, there's a weird stat out there, and I don't have it, that Patrick Mahomes has a winning record when he gets down by double digits. He's only quarterback in NFL history who's able to do that. So if the Lions jump out to an early lead, it's not going to affect you. If the Chiefs jump out to an early lead, I think that could snowball, and I could see the Lions just completely falling apart.
Yeah, but again, the Eagles did enough to get up on you. The defense became a hot mess of a joke, right? Even Black Spirit points this out. The defense became a hot mess of a joke. When they tied it back up 35-35, yeah, you better run the ball. It's like I would love to sit there and make it seem like, oh no, they came out with this thing, and they struggled. They fought like hell to get into it. And the reality is the reason they got down so quick was because they didn't want for that guy to be out there. Now I'm just pointing all these out to tell you this, okay? When you look at this game, in particular, you look at this game.
Mm-hmm.
They had the Eagles had 32 rushing attempts for 115 yards and 2 touchdowns. 15 of those came from Jalen Hurts. Okay. Right? Okay. Isaiah Pacheco had 15 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. They had 26 carries for 158. 6 of those runs were 44 yards came from the quarterback. They wasn't running the ball like that. And Eagles wasn't running the ball more than what they were doing with their game plan.
So the Chiefs put up 38 against a much better defense than the Eagles. So what are they going to do against Detroit? Are you saying Kansas City's going to put up 50?
No, I'm saying that they put up 38, and the last time the Lions played you guys, the score was 34-30. And our defense was not good then. And so
and I don't think your defense is good now. Black
and
Spirit,
yet, but we still held, we still kept the game close. I think the difference.
Yes, we did keep score.
I think the difference between those games and these games is this. And this is just me. You had Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't think you got him no more.
We didn't have him when we played you guys last.
No. I'm talking about when y'all played in the Super Bowl. You had Juju Smith-Schuster. He's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Travis Kelce may be hurt this game.
Yeah.
Okay. That's gonna cause a problem for you.
Okay.
After you go past them two, your receivers, Justin Watson, 2 catches, 18 yards, nothing to write home about. Jerick McKinnon, 3 catches, 15 yards, nothing to write home about. Noah Gray, 1 catch, 6 yards, nothing to write home about. Kadarius Toney, 1 catch, 5 yards, nothing to write home about. Sky Moore, 1 catch, 4 yards, nothing to write home about. Your number one target is that damn tight end. And if that tight end ain't playing, you in problems. And on defense, we don't even get started on defense.
You got the Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. If Kelsey's out, the offense is just going to fall apart.
Oh, it's dead. It's dead in the water.
The number one scoring offense from last year.
It's dead in the water. Without Travis Kelce, that offense is dead. It's dead in the water.
Black Spirit, I'm going to bring this up here because you know who's a worse coordinator than Jonathan Gannon? Aaron Glenn. Here's a fun stat. When Goff has less than 2.5 seconds in the pocket, he threw 20 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's the most blitz quarterback we come in. I think that Kansas City is going to blitz Goff, and I think the crowd noise is going to cause some problems. I really think that the Arrowhead noise and the environment is going to cause some problems. It's caused problems for NFC North teams over the years. No division struggled more than the NFC North at Arrowhead. I don't know why that is. In all fairness, Detroit hasn't played there since Barry Sanders wore a jersey. So I don't know the exact year that Barry played there, but it's been over 20 years since Detroit's been to Kansas City. But as a general rule of thumb, the NFC North really
I don't think it's been that long, has it?
That's the last time I remember Detroit. Okay, so here's the deal. Technically, Kansas City was the home team.
Detroit was last time Detroit came to Kansas City was 2015.
Was it 2015?
And they lost 45. They lost.
No, that game was in London. That 2015 team, the game that was in London.
Was that one in London?
Yeah. Yeah, it was
all right. So
game.
Prior to that, 2003. Okay, 2003 was the last time. Then, if you did it that well, 2003 would be the last time.
Yeah. So I mean, it doesn't count, but as a general rule of thumb, the NFC North's always had problems at Arrowhead, and a lot of NFC teams do. Fun fact: Golf's never played at Arrowhead.
Here's another fun fact for you: the Lions and Kansas City Chiefs in the last 4 meetings are 2-2.
That 2-2.
Yeah.
Okay, so the London game, that was a big win for the Chiefs, and then the last one 4 years ago.
Well, the 2011, so if you go back 4 years, over the last 4 meetings, 2007, Detroit beat Kansas City 25-20.
Okay.
And they were at Detroit.
2007.
2007.
That's 2007. I'm trying to do the math. That's 16 years ago. 2011,
Detroit won 48-3. In Detroit.
I remember that game. Oh my God, I remember that game. But the last 2 meetings,
and then 2015 in Kansas City won 45-10.
Yeah, that was in.
And then 2019,
that was a good one.
It was 34-30 in Detroit. So it's 2-2.
No. Chiefs won. You said Detroit.
No, I said Chiefs won. I said it's in Detroit, and the Chiefs won 34-30. So it's 2-2.
Black Spirit, man, dude, you have great comments and stuff, but I mean, the one thing that you're missing out is that no team has. The Lions have had a bottom 5 defense the last 2 years. You guys think that you're going to have a good defense. I don't see it. And if you do have a good defense, I think it's going to be later in the season, not early.
You don't. The thing that I think that we as fans forget is we seem to think that the best team always win every single time, and that's just not true.
No.
So there, hell, I would have never. I know for a fact last year in the Pick'em League, the Kansas City Chiefs pissed me off when the Colts beat them. I was like, "This is what?"
Oh, dude! Oh, God! I actually bet on that game, and I had the Chiefs covering. It was a low point spread, but I want to say 3.5. And we were talking. Matter of fact, speaking of point spread, I'm gonna real quick. I'm gonna give out my my predictions here because I have the Chiefs. By the way, if you're into sports betting, the point spread of this game is just dropped big time with the Travis Kelce. Maybe he'll play, maybe he won't. It's going to be a game time decision, or at least a decision tomorrow. The line was 6.5. It's now 5. You can, if you want to bet on the game. I took the Chiefs to cover 6.5, and I took the Chiefs money line. But I really, really think that the Chiefs are not only going to win, I got them winning by double digits. My score prediction is 41-23. And I'll be honest with you, I think the 23 is going to come late with a garbage touchdown. I don't think it's going to be a good game. I think the Chiefs got the better offense. I think they got the better defense, even without Chris Jones. The Arrowhead, Andy Reid winning 8 straight home openers, where the Lions have been a team over the last 2 years that have traditionally started slow. I think Lions fans are going to be very frustrated with a slow start again. But after the bye, I think the Lions are going to be a very dangerous team. But for the first half of the season, I think you're going to have some problems. I think you're going to start off slow.
You know, it comes these times where I get so excited.
I got money on it though. I got a bet on the money line, and I didn't get a good number because the line was at the time was 6.5. And then I took the Chiefs to cover 6.5, and I'll be honest, I think they're going to cover it pretty easily.
Okay, listen,
I got. You said you got. What is it? You said you got. What was it?
10 points.
Because I gotta. I'm gonna be honest with you. When if the Lions win this game, I gotta come on your show and I gotta eat a lot of crow, man.
You know the first thing I'm gonna do after the Lions win this game, because it's not even an if, but after the Lions win this game, you know the first thing I'm gonna do.
I'm hoping I see you on my live stream in the.
This is what I'm gonna have you do. I want you to just sit there and say Ben Johnson is a better coordinator than Matt Nagy, and I stand corrected.
Because unless the score is like 10-7, which I don't think either one of us.
No. It's gonna get. I predict.
I will do that on the air because if the Lions win, I only see one way the Lions win this game, and that if they play ball control and to keep Patrick Mahomes on the bench, and you have to have 5-minute touchdown drives. That's the only way I really see the Lions winning this game.
Yeah, I just it's so many problems that I see right now. I think that you guys are missing so much.
It's only 2 guys. It's only Chris
but those are the 2 most significant players on your entire team. They are.
We are missing our best defensive player.
I'll put it this way.
I love Chris Jones. I also thought that we should have looked at trading him this offseason, and I think that would have been a good move.
I'll put it this way. I never knew how important Ndamukong Suh was.
Oh God!
Until he was no longer here.
How good is it? Seriously, I can relate to that. Go back in time when Derek Thomas passed away. That affected things. The one thing, actually speaking of Derek Thomas, the one thing the Lions do have that I started thinking about this is that they remind a lot of old 2000 Chiefs. Remember the 2000 Chiefs? Yeah, they had Willie Roaf, Will Shields. Both of them are in the Hall of Fame. They had Brian Waters, who's been nominated. So he's been nominated for the Hall of Fame. He won't get in probably, but he's a Hall of Fame caliber player. They had this great offensive line. They had Trent Green, Tony Gonzalez, Priest Holmes, and they had this god awful defense. But you know what happened is they did go 13-3. Vermeil's 3rd year.
Yeah, I mean, the unfortunate part about it is this. I think that you look at that point spread. When you look at that point spread,
it's been free falling. And me and you talked about this. It was 6.5 right before the show. DraftKings and Caesars has it at 5. That is a 1.5 point jump in a few hours in an NFL game is massive. In college, it happens a lot. It hardly happens in the NFL. You have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe millions of dollars bet on the Detroit Lions for that line to jump that much.
You know what? I feel like that point spread is telling. I feel like people are looking, they're paying attention, and they're like, you know what? I'm not so sure this is gonna go this way. They know that this game is going to be closer than you think, and with every person that goes down, that's why Andy Reid, even him, he didn't even want to lick his beard, even though the jelly was still on his beard. He didn't on the mustache. He didn't want to lick it because he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna check Travis Kelce and see how things are going." He's over there right now going, "What the hell am I going to do if this guy doesn't play? I got Chris Jones out."
I don't think it's going to be a problem with this bad defense. A Black Spirit, if it's not that hard for a defense to mesh, why hasn't Aaron Glenn fixed the defense already?
This is my opinion. All right, I'm going to put this out here. I've said it before, and I'm not going to shy away from it.
Yes.
I don't believe that he had the appropriate talent to do what they were asking him to do. I don't believe it. I don't believe when they were trying to do all this, we got these man coverage dudes, and that's a bunch of malarkey. Okudah was exactly who I thought he was. Okay, outside of Okudah, you had them trying to move people out of the way. That's how you got Jerry Jacobs and AJ Parker and all these other people to get a shot, because these other people were not even worth the price of admission. And since he came here, he was a part of a rebuild. They had a lot of money invested on the offense, as they should have, because I wanted them to build up the offensive line. I wanted them to build up the rushing attack and to build up the offense in that regard. But I also wanted them to balance it out and hit the defense. And I don't think he had a lot of the key components, because most of those guys that they brought in were hurt. Levi Onwuzurike hurt. Pascal hurt. Romeo Cure hurt. You just keep going down the list of people who was hurt. And so when you have as many injuries as we had, not only in the secondary, but in the front seven, yeah, you're going to have some damn growing pains. You had a guy who came in and Malcolm Rodriguez, a 6th-round pick, who had to play because you didn't really have a lot going on there. So for me to hold him hostage and say, it's all on him, no, I'm not buying it. You know, we gave more grace and mercy to freaking Fatty Matty. I'm not finna sit here and downplay my man's like that. I'm not doing it.
See, let me ask you this here, because the one thing that really floored me when he came over from the Saints is that Dennis Allen ran this 4-3 flex defense, and then Aaron Glenn gets the job, and I just assumed he was going to run the same defense that he's coached in that was wildly successful, and he does something different, and it didn't work, and that's why I'm anti-Aaron Glenn, because you have this proven method with the Saints. Year one under Dennis Allen, they had I think it's a 31st ranked defense. I don't have it in front of me. The next year they were a top 10 defense. So like one bad year, one good year. And my thought that when Aaron Glenn took over, he would do the same exact thing. You use the same blueprint that was wildly successful in New Orleans. Your Dan Campbell was the coach there, so I just assumed that you're going to do the same thing on defense. I can't get over that you're going to do something different, and I don't understand why Aaron Glenn's running a different.
You do it different because you don't have the personnel that the Saints have. So for example, right? Say for example,
you're all planning on okay. So 3-4-4-3 is outdated, but
but they run a 4. I want to say they ran a 4-2-6 the most part of it. And the thing that you got to look at is this, right? You know what I'm saying? Dan, I don't know. I might be wrong about this, but I don't think you married, right?
No, I'm not married.
Okay, but you've had girlfriends, right?
Oh,
now, I don't know about you, but every girlfriend I had was not the same. They were not the same. I can't go into the relationship with one girlfriend doing what I did from the previous.
You got a good point. I look at the Saints defense, which, by the way, last year was really good, and the Lions wasn't. And I'm wondering why
we had so many more significant injuries, and not to mention, this is the one part that everybody is missing. We were the youngest. Okay. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was young, I did a lot of stupid stuff. A lot.
We agree there. No, I didn't. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know the Lions had the youngest defense in the league.
We still got one of the youngest teams. This how you know it's bad. I read an article the other day that said that Marvin Jones is like the oldest person apparently on the Lions. I'm like, how? Marvin Jones is the oldest person on the Lions? Marvin Jones?
I can tell you our defense. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody told us that the Chiefs defense was the youngest defense in the NFL going into 2023. I'm just pulling up the depth chart here because we got 4 guys that were drafted last year who are going to start. Somebody had a question, who's the best defensive player? Nick Bolton was 4th in the NFL last year in tackles. Why he didn't go to a Pro Bowl, I have no clue. He came he actually was almost Super Bowl MVP. He had 1 touchdown, could have had 2. It was a questionable call, but I mean, it worked.
The Pro Bowl's a joke, and nobody should take
it is. But Nick Bolton is a guy. George Kalifdis is a guy last half of the season, played really, really good. Trent McDuffie's a guy probably going to go to a Pro Bowl this year. This guy, he's going to be good. L'Jarius Sneed's another guy, really, really, really good player. We got some decent players, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stand by this. If Chris Jones isn't here, we can't win a Super Bowl without him. I believe that because I think the AFC is so much. I think Cincinnati's tough. I think Jacksonville's tough. I'm high on New England, but here's the thing: without Chris Jones and without Travis Kelce, we still have more than enough to beat the Lions.
Hold on. So you don't win a Super Bowl without Chris Jones, but you got more than enough to beat the Lions?
Yeah, I'm not sold on the Lions. I'm not.
Hey, Dan,
I think the Lions. Listen, Luke. I think the Lions are about 9-10 win team. I'm not buying this Kool-Aid where the Lions are a 12, 13, 14 team. I'm looking at a team with a bad defense. Ben Johnson had a great start. If he's a savant, if he's the next Sean McVay, great. I want to see more. I'm not convinced the Lions are a top 5 offense. I'm not.
Dan, can I ask a favor of you, Dan?
Sure.
The drink you drink, can you hold it up to the camera for me one time?
It is an energy drink. It's
what is it?
Rain energy drink.
Stop drinking that shit. Okay, don't drink.
I'm telling you that Kool-Aid you guys are drinking up in Detroit.
Stop drinking that,
man. Luke's got a team that's not as good as my Chiefs coming into Arrowhead week 1, winning by double digits. Darth Twerk, is Kelce going to play? We don't know. It's going to be. We're going to find out tomorrow. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's probably going to be a game time decision. It has nothing to do with JMO. I look at trends, and Detroit's won 1 game in September and October, the first 2 seasons. So I think Detroit's going to be better after the bye. When I look at trends, Detroit's been a team that starts slow. They got a bunch of new players. I think that they start slow. After the bye, Detroit scares me, but before the bye,
let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Who on defense? Who on the Detroit Lions defense you respect?
I like Aiden Hutchinson, and I'm going to give myself a little pat on the back. That was one pick because when it comes to the draft, you're kind of the gold standard. Like when I want to know who the Detroit Lions are going to draft, I would say, hey, Luke, who are they going to take? But I nailed Aiden Hutchinson. I would have liked the Jack Campbell pick in the 2nd round. I didn't like the trade up. The Branch pick, I think, is phenomenal. I actually had Branch rated higher than Gibbs, but
okay. So you respect Branch, Aiden Hudson. You respect Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
I'm going to be honest with you on week 1, no, because I don't think Aaron Glenn's going to use them right. And I'll use this is not a good analogy, but the Honey Badger. All right, NFL and Defensive Player of the Year with Arizona, got injured, goes to Houston for a year. Houston didn't use him right. They just put him at strong safety, didn't move him around. That's what I see Aaron Glenn doing, is that they're not going to be able to take advantage of him. I don't think they're going to use him right. I don't have any faith in Aaron Glenn. I seriously think there's going to be at least one time where the Chiefs are going to have a touchdown and no Lions player is going to be on the field because Aaron Glenn's not going to be able to get these guys on the same page. The Chiefs' offense is so complex. It's so varied. It's almost impossible to game plan for week one. There's going to be a lot of confusion in that team, and especially that secondary with some new pieces. Like I said, week 10, I'm scared. Week 1, I'm like I said, 41-23. I think that 23 might include a touchdown or two late.
Let me ask you a question. I'm curious about this. When the Colts beat you, was your offense so complex for them then?
No, hey, look, any given Sunday, but no coach in NFL history is better than Andy Reid with time. That's
okay.
Season openers.
I mean, that's like the Batman argument with preparation. Batman beats everybody. We're not talking about preparation. We're talking about
what do you think's been happening?
But the Bills game, the Bills game y'all lost. What was that about? What was that about? Was that they couldn't figure out your offense?
Look. Chiefs lost 3 games last year. The Colts game was a fluke. Buffalo came in. They look, give them some credit. Give the Bills some credit.
What about the Bengals? That was fluke.
The Bengals. I'm gonna say one thing about the Bengals. Lou Amarino, I always get his name wrong. He should have been an NFL head coach. That guy. Actually, he should have been the one that took the Cardinals job, not Gannon. That guy has. I don't know what he does. But they figured out like they match up really, really well to Kansas City.
Okay, now I'm gonna tell you something.
Fantastic job.
Gannon was only hired. He was only hired so they can tank for the season. Did you see the clip that the Cardinals? You see the clip the Cardinals released of Gannon talking to his team? Every player was confused.
It's funny because I got a buddy of mine. He's a Cardinals fan and he's kind of low key optimistic. And I was kind of drinking that Kool-Aid, like, hey, the Cardinals might be better than I thought. And he showed me a video of Kyler Murray working out, and looks like there was talk about Kyler Murray playing week 1. That's not going to happen.
Nope, he's got to be out for 4 weeks.
And then I went and I saw that preseason game, and against the Chiefs, and the Cardinals had first and second string players losing the guys that the Chiefs cut. And they were just blowing. I was like, oh my God.
No. I'm talking about the Cardinals. The Cardinals released a clip of the head coach talking to the players, trying to motivate them, and everyone was looking like, "What the hell is he talking about?" He was like,
"You have to send me that clip."
Oh my God, I cannot wait to. You know what? Hold on, watch this. It's so funny.
Buster, this is not a mic drop.
Listen, I'm just saying, it was so funny. Right, it was so funny that I have to play this.
Please share it. Please send it to me. By the way, guys, if you're not already, in the link in the description below, I have Luke G's Instagram, and I have a link to Luke G's YouTube channel, which is amazing. So,
yeah, I gotta find that clip. You cannot let this clip go unplayed.
Please send it to me.
I'm sending it to you. I'm sending it to you right now. But okay. I want to play it because I want to kind of give you a gist of like it's you're listening to Dan Cap. Let me just get this again. I gotta cue this up. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all gotta hear this. Listen to this.
All right.
Listen to this. Y'all gotta hear this. Oh wait, I gotta press the button.
Who drove over here? Quick, let me see your hands. Who took the bus? Did you have fire in your gut? Did you? We're here for a reason. Don't get that twisted. Okay, we're here for a reason.
The guys like Bacon.
So if you didn't have that fire in your gut, you better light the fire pretty fast. Welcome back. Who drove over here? Quick, let me see your hands. Who took the bus? Did you have fire in your gut?
Is that the clip where like a player's
here for a reason.
Is that the clip where like there's like it looks like there's a player vaping?
No, this is a clip where they came back for the first week.
Send me that clip.
I sent it to you already. This is a clip where they came back for the first week, and he's trying to motivate his team. He's trying to give them a speech to lift them up, and hoorah, get them all going. and everyone's just looking like, what the hell? He asked him who caught the bus here. What do you mean who caught the bus? These are NFL players. None of them caught the goddamn bus. Not a single person hopped on a bus to get to your damn practice. Okay, Gannon? Like, I'm making this point to show you how sometimes having the wrong coach can cause problems. Dan Campbell literally came in and told you he taking kneecaps. He wants to bite off toenails and stuff. And everybody, you're freaking me here. He meant it. And the team took it serious. You saw it week in and week out. Even when we was going 13, we went 3. What was it? With it then 3.
Yeah, you
13
off,
and 1.
I remember right. You started off 0-10-1.
Right, and the team never wavered. They were still fighting.
I'll give credit for.
They were still fighting because of Dan Campbell. Nobody's finna fight for Gannon.
The Lions are a team that, whether they're up by 20 or down by 20, they're still in the game. No lead is safe either way. Mike, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying week 1, it's a bad matchup, man.
Okay. I love your
Black Spirit does not like the shine. Maybe I should go back to the cowboy hat. A Big T, I think Kelsey and Jones are. What do you mean? Smoke screens. I don't understand. Pimp Chronicles Luke G is a pimp, man. I love Luke G. He is a pimp. I'm grateful he's on the show, even though we are like worlds apart on what we think about things. He's always welcome on this show, and I really hope that the Chiefs win Thursday, because I know I'm going to hear a lot. I'll have to eat a lot of crow and hear a lot from Luke G.
Oh, listen, I feel that once this is all said and done, because there's 2 things that can't happen for Kansas City. There's 2 things. They can't barely win if they win, and I doubt that that's going to happen. But they can't get blew out if they lose. They can't lose by double digits or 2 possessions. That can't happen. It can't happen. And I think the reason when you look at it is coming off the Super Bowl. I mean, this when y'all get your rings and the flags and all that stuff, right? Yeah, it's going to be a real bad bittersweet. At least you got jury for a loss. So
well,
that's cool.
I will say this though. When we I don't have it in front of me, but when we won in 2019, we won the season opener in 2020. I mean, we're ready. We're going to be ready to play. I mean, we're not overlooking the Lions. Amazement, yes, I am very high on the Patriots this year. This year, I'm very high on the Patriots.
Dan, that's another good point Black Spirit brings up. Who trying to catch a bus in Arizona heat? That's what I'm saying. What the hell is he talking about, man? What the hell is he talking? You caught the bus here? Who drove here? Who caught the bus?
I'm trying to quit the energy drinks. I'm trying to quit. It's been a long week. I wanted to make sure I had energy to talk. Yeah, I need to quit. I need to quit drinking energy drinks.
Oh my God. It's so weird, man. But yeah, if you want to see that clip, hit me up on IG. I'll give it to you.
And by the way, Luke G's IG is in the description below. Jones actually didn't affect the point spread, believe it or not, because it was something that's kind of been known. But when it was announced Kelsey wasn't going to play, the point spread just plummeted.
Because that's your number 1 target.
He is our number 1 target. Is this guy serious, bro? Any given Sunday, you ever hear the same saying, same goes for any given Sunday, don't be a cover. Listen, I'm just telling you, I do sports betting. I look at trends. Andy Reid has traditionally been very good at season openers, 8 straight. Lions traditionally have not been good to start the season. It's at Arrowhead, a place where NFC teams struggle. I think top to bottom, the Chiefs have the better team. They came off the Super Bowl win. So yeah. I got action on the Chiefs to cover 6.5, and I feel good about winning that bet. So,
yeah, listen, I feel like this is a matchup that we can go back and forth with each other until we could. But the reality is we just bought us a little bit more time before that game goes down. And when it goes down, I'm telling you, they're tired of it. Every single person talks to them. They don't even talk to the Lions about this game like it's a game of 2 good teams coming in. They talk to the Lions like they're so fortunate to take an L and go against the Kansas City Chiefs.
You're seeing something completely different because I'm not seeing that at all.
Go and look at every interview, started with Peter King, Chris Sims. Every interview they started off.
I have not been seeing that at all. And one pride, if it wasn't week 1, then I would be. But week 1, I love the Chiefs. Week 1.
I mean, look, he got to root for his team, people. If he doesn't root for his team, what's the point of being a fan?
Look, guys, by the way, listen, I will be doing play-by-play live here on YouTube. I don't have the stream set up yet, but I'll have it set up probably tomorrow. You can join me live. You can mute the TV, listen to me do play-by-play, or you can have both on it. Either way, you can leave me comments like this, man. But yeah, I think Chiefs win 41-23. I really don't think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be close.
There's no way. There's no way. I got them winning by 10. You got them at 41-23.
I mean, we're not even close here, Luke. Luke's got double-digit win. I got double-digit.
I got it 31-21. Detroit.
I see no way you hold the Chiefs at 21.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
Let me ask you a question. Just for reference points, I'm just curious. Did you see the Colts hold them to 17?
No.
Nope.
No.
Did you see Buffalo hold them to 20?
No, I did not.
I didn't think so. So don't be surprised when they hold them to 21.
But both those teams had good defenses.
Really?
Don't.
Really?
Don't have a good defense.
The Colts had a good defense?
The last year, yes, they did have a good defense.
Okay, they was good enough to hold that complex, confusing, amazing offense of Kansas City to 17.
Yeah. I listen, guys. I'm just telling you, I don't think the Lions are going to be a good team to start the season. I just don't.
Well, the best part about all of this is you get a chance to come back and make amends and apologize and correct your mistakes.
I will. One thing is when I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. I'll be live. So all you Lions fans, if you want to join the live stream and talk trash the whole time, I'm more than happy to. I already told Luke G that I will come on next week if the Chiefs lose, and I'll eat some crow. I'll eat some crow on this show. I'm more than happy to do it. And
the same for me. I'll show back.
I will say this: it's week 1. I watched Patriots lose a lot of week 1 games and win Super Bowls. I'd rather lose to an NFC team than an AFC team.
I agree.
The Lions should feel the same way. Yeah,
I agree. I feel like if we were going to lose to an AFC team, beat Seattle NFC because we can't have these tiebreakers come back to bite us again.
By the way, Keys was on Friday, and he picked the Chiefs Lions to repeat in the Super Bowl. Luke, what happens if Keys is right and Chiefs Lions play in the Super Bowl? How crazy would that be, man?
First of all, the city of Detroit gonna burn just for getting there, right? It's gonna be bonfires. That's gonna be the one day where prostitutes get love from everybody. I'm telling you, listen. This town went nuts when the Pistons made it to the finals, right? And then when I'll never forget this. I remember the first time we beat the Bulls. I heard so much shooting in the air, you'd have thought we was like out in the desert. And then when we beat the Lakers, it was even worse because everybody doubted us. Like, oh, you don't have this, and you don't. Like, I'm just telling. It's so much history to that. If the Lions make it to a Super Bowl, like, oh my God, you just don't know.
Well, if you believe the NFL is scripted, like a lot of people, I mean, what city do you want to win a Super Bowl? Kansas City or Philly? I mean,
neither Detroit. I mean, listen, Detroit is one of 12 teams to never win a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
they're one of 12. I want to get out of that list before we end up being the last to win it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, neither. I want to see the city of Detroit. If I'm going by the script, that's all I'm saying.
Hey, I'll tell you what, if you're buying the script, I will say this, the NFL loves Mahomes and they love the Chiefs. So, we got the script thing working for us. I've never been a fan of believing that, but if you do believe it, a lot of things look good for Kansas City. a lot of things look good for Kansas City. I will say that. So
Dr. Detroit says he said he don't disagree with you much. He says that he can see all the excuses. I'm not giving Jared Goff any excuses. You coming into it with a healthy offensive line. You're coming into it with weapons on top of weapons. They have exclusively spent a lot of money on offense. There's more money invested in the offense than there is on the defense. Yeah, I'm not taking no excuses for him. My thing is if you were to look at the Kansas City Chiefs, the first thing you would say is, they're going to pass the ball a lot. If you believe that they're going to pass the ball a lot, then you have to also believe that the Lions have improved their secondary, and that's going to be a problem.
See, that's where we disagree. I think week one, I'm not sure I believe that the Lions.
Kirby Joseph, Tracy Walker, Branch, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
They're coming from good defensive schemes, and I don't think the Lions have that.
Well, let's go back and review. Kirby Joseph was drafted and brought in to the Lions. So was Tracy Walker. The two people you added was Branch, and you added Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Now you can mix those two anywhere you see fit. But I can tell you,
no, isn't Sutton and is it Mosley, the guy you got from San Francisco? Aren't those your two starting corners?
What two guys? Well, I don't think Mosley starts this week one. I don't.
Okay. Mosley's not okay. That's one. I thought he was a starter.
Yeah.
I
have mixed feelings about him because I have certain views when it comes to these cornerbacks, including Sutton. However, having good safety play does help you a lot, and I think with the amount of safeties we got who can play hybrid roles is huge. So, yeah, I'm just putting it out there. Like, yeah, it's definitely huge.
Because I'm kind of interested to see how they use Branch and CJ, GJ. I don't know if Aaron Glenn has the creativity to really use those guys correctly. I'm not high on Aaron Glenn. That's kind of my thing. But if they had the youngest team in the league last year, I wasn't aware of that. But going into week one, I like the team with the better offense, the better defense, the better coaching staff, and home field advantage.
Well,
but I'm willing to if I am wrong, I'm going to come on your show and eat a lot of crow.
It's okay. We won't hurt you too bad when you get there.
I want to tell you what though, like when I came in to your show, what was it, about a month ago? I had no idea what I was walking into. I was floored. I had no idea the expectations were that high.
Oh, we're not playing.
No, you're not. We
expect to win, and it's not a game. It's just we expect to win, and I know a lot of people are not picking us to beat Kansas City. I've seen a lot of people tuck their tail and turn on their opinions and stuff, and I'm not wavering on mine. So, I believe that we will win that game, and then we will go on to beat Seattle. We'll be 2-0. And you're going to have to reevaluate some things, and we'll go on to beat the Falcons and the Packers, and we'll be 4-0. And then at that point, we're going to really start talking about, like, hey, is this really happening? And I'm going to sit back and go, yeah, it's really happening, you know. So and then when you start about 1-3, I'm going to have to come in and, you know. Like, listen, if we start 1-3,
that's what I see. I see.
If we start 1-3, I only see us going 1-3 one way and one way only, and that's if our interior can't stop the run. I gotta believe for the Chiefs, with the amount of disrespect they've received within the media interviews and stuff, people don't even talk to them like with common decency. They talk to them like, oh, no big deal. And so that to me is just so disrespectful. I'll send you every clip so you can see what I mean, but they talk to them like they're a second-class team who should be fortunate to play the Chiefs.
One thing I'm gonna wrap it up, Luke, because we've been butting heads for about 2 hours, and I do want to say a few things though before I let you out of here. One, I am going to do play-by-play and reaction Thursday night live, so tune into YouTube. I'll answer all questions. I'll have I'm going to put DraftKings up for those of you who do sports betting. If you have some questions, thoughts, prop bets. I'll be keeping track of all that stuff for you guys. Also, if the Chiefs lose, I will be on Luke G's show to eat a lot of crow. My picks video will come out tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I apologize. Normally it'll be out Tuesday. This week it's Wednesday. Luke, man, give us your final thoughts here before I let you go, man.
Hey, listen, it's always a fun time to come on here and talk with you, Dan. Dan be doing a lot. He covered all 32 teams. He's doing betting. He's doing, I mean, it's so much. And, you know, he talked about me. He's been really good at predicting things and calling out certain things. And so it's a good watch to have and stuff. It's going to be fun to see how this game go. It's the first week. Everybody feels their team is the bum. But you know me, I can't end the show unless I do it on a positive note. And today's positive quote comes from the internet because I don't know who said it. But the quote is simple. If you decide to do it with conviction. If you decide to do it with conviction. Some of y'all are half-assing y'all dreams out here. Y'all half-assing y'all jobs. You're acting as if though that there's no need for you to put effort into what you're doing. But you don't realize who's watching. I've seen time and time again where people have come out and had opportunities to do things that set them up for a lifetime. But because they did it lazy, they did it without conviction, they didn't give themselves any real shot. They just did the bare minimum. They got bare minimum results. And I'm asking you to do something that gets you beyond bare minimum results. I'm asking you to push yourself. I'm asking you that if you are out there mopping floors, mop them damn floors good enough to where you can see yourself in it. And when a person walks down there, they can ask questions. You never know how that's going to change your life or your trajectory. I'm just simply asking you to take steps to be better. Take steps to challenge yourself to be great. Take steps to say, you know what? This is what I was last year. I want to do something different this time around. If you do that, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to find yourself in a position that you didn't even know you were supposed to be in. You're going to find yourself doing things that you didn't know you were supposed to be doing. And you're going to find yourself building yourself up and having people who saw what you did with pride. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. And as always, don't be no chump. Please do your research.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Follow Luke G on Luke G Field Review, and don't forget my picks videos Wednesday, and I'll be live doing play-by-play Thursday. Have a good night, and I'll see you hopefully again very soon.